Hey, thanks for taking the time to fill out that survey. Now, based on the answers you provided and the farmers and rural property owners we've worked with in similar circumstances, building thousands of sheds successfully for over 60 years since 1952, your number one shed buying struggle is something I call having a high-quality shed building concern. What is that exactly? Well, before I explain what that is, let's talk about the few reasons why most farmers or rural property owners who are looking for a high-quality shed tend to struggle so much to get past this sticking point. Whether you're looking for a shed that's small, large, simple, or complex, there's one thing I can almost guarantee you'll experience: that a poor quality shed will cost you a lot more money in the long run. In one way or another, it will set you back in either repair costs, lost time, or both, along with a huge amount of frustration. The reason why most farmers or rural property owners struggle when choosing a low-quality shed versus a high-quality shed is because they're not quite sure about the negative consequences that a poor quality shed can have in comparison to a more robust shed made from better quality materials. They want good value, but don't know enough about sheds to recognise value compared with cheap. It's also because they buy a low-quality shed in the hopes of saving money. But unfortunately, for most farmers, this soon proves to be a very costly mistake. You see, most sheds might look similar, but when you take into account their lack of durability, function, and reliability, unfortunately, many just don't stand the test of time. Here are a few possibilities and expected disappointments that you should consider before choosing your new shed. Most low-quality sheds have very weak structure. If there's any room for compromise, it should never be structure, because when the structure of a shed becomes frail, it's time to stop using it and sell the materials to a recycling company for pennies. Here's an example of a shed made from poor quality materials. Notice the sagging structure? We see sheds like this all the time. And our motto is, if you wouldn't let your kids in there, don't let anything else in there either. And here's another warning sign: buying a low-quality shed that won't hold up to the tough Aussie weather. Tough conditions like our harsh Aussie sun, high winds, aggressive storms and mini tornadoes show no mercy to poorly made sheds with cheap materials. Panels, roofs, and even main joints can be torn straight off, or at the very least, structurally dismantled, all of which will require some kind of repair that won't be easy on the pocket. And there's the thickness or thinness of the materials used in a cheap and nasty shed compared to a good strong shed. That's something you won't be told about by a shed company trying to sell you a cheap one. For example, a builder we know once told us about his experience building one of these super cheap sheds. The roof and wall iron was so thin it was almost like building the shed with a roll of aluminium foil, and the iron dented very easily, even with only low-level impact. He certainly could not walk on the roof. We've seen many of these so-called quality sheds dent with only minor handling or when putting them together. I'm not sure about you, but if something was to dent that easily, I sure wouldn't trust that kind of material to protect my expensive farm machinery or any other valuable asset for that matter. Furthermore, another downfall about low-quality sheds is the cosmetic damage they suffer over the years. Sheds with cheap imported iron often fade fast and get large, unsightly white patches, and I'm talking just a couple of years here. This turns to pitting, which leads to rusting, leaving you feeling ripped off because your nice new shed now looks disgusting. Most of the cheap stuff nowadays is so sensitive and unstable for heat, UV light and weather. You just wouldn't expect that on a shed where the seller and maker know for certain it's going to be standing out in our hot Aussie sun for years and years. On top of the above-mentioned issues that you'll most likely face with a low-quality shed, and especially with imported sheds or imported steel used in sheds, is that although they claim to be made to Australian standards, they won't provide you with a guarantee. The companies who use these awful steel materials imported from China will tell you that it's made to Australian standards, but they won't put any warranty on it, so that should tell you a thing or two about where their faith is in their product, shouldn't it? This means you'll be left to wear all the costs involved when the inevitable goes wrong. So, expect it. Let me ask you this. Would you buy a tractor that you knew would break real soon, couldn't handle the workload you needed, and didn't come with any kind of substantial warranty? Of course not, because A, it wouldn't provide you with a decent return on your money, and B, will only cost you more in frustration and inconvenience. It's exactly the same with your new shed. If you choose to cut corners or compromise on quality, you'll end up paying more for it in both time and money. Now, I can go on and on about so many other horror stories that come with feeble, shaky, tacky sheds that just don't last, but I think I'll stop there. Because if you're like most farmers, all you really want is a strong, high-quality shed that will provide you with a good return on investment, long-term reliability, and total satisfaction. So, what's the solution? The solution is this. Avoid any kind of inferior, poor imitation type of shed for your property that will inevitably only cost you more in the future. Instead of looking for the cheapest sheds on the market, look for the best quality, or at the very least, the greatest value. You see, for you to reap the maximum benefit from your new shed, you need a shed that passes all criteria when it comes to quality. You need a shed that delivers on all fronts. This includes frame and foundational structure, internal and external design, proper functionality, and longevity. Now, if you're the kind of farmer who appreciates a high-quality shed for your property, keep watching, because you'll be glad to know that at Grant Sheds we supply and build the highest quality sheds that money can buy. In basic terms, we're known for building the best sheds in Australia. As a matter of fact, while most suppliers are as quiet as a church mouse when it comes to guarantees, our sheds are so strong and well built that we proudly stand above others in the shed industry by offering an exclusive, rock-solid, 50-year structural guarantee. That's how we solve the problem we call the high-quality shed building concern, and give you the heads up on our total quality and peace of mind solution. This is how we help you avoid the high-quality shed building concern and enjoy the ease and benefit of a high-quality shed building guarantee. Because quality sheds are what we know and do exceptionally well. And it gets better. You're watching this video at the best time ever, because for the next 30 days only, we're also offering a whopping double bonus offer, valued at up to $4,200 on any shed you buy from Grant Sheds. This is a real off-the-shelf value of up to $4,200 that includes free delivery, valued at $500, plus a free strength wall cladding upgrade, valued at up to $3,700. To find out more about our amazing, super tough Aussie sheds backed by a rock-solid 50-year guarantee, and also claim your amazing $4,200 double bonus offer, simply click on the button below now.